responsibilities that would come with being a member of the royal family. During World War II, Elizabeth took on a unique role in the Auxiliary Territorial Service, demonstrating her commitment and courage at a time of great national turmoil. Her reign saw numerous visits to the Commonwealth, where she fostered relationships with diverse cultures, always emphasizing unity and community. As the years progressed, moments of remembrance became significant, especially after the passing of her beloved husband, Prince Philip, highlighting her resilience and dedication to her duty. In her later years, Elizabeth took a keen interest in pressing global issues such as climate change, demonstrating her awareness and dedication to leaving a legacy for future generations. Throughout her life, Queen Elizabeth II remained deeply committed to charitable causes, always taking the time to engage with those making a difference in their communities. The Platinum Jubilee marked a historic milestone as the nation came together to celebrate 70 years of her unwavering service to the Crown and the Commonwealth.
In the early morning hours of April 15th, 1912, the RMS Titanic met a tragic fate after colliding with an iceberg, leading to one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. The Titanic, often hailed as unsinkable, carried over 200 passengers and crew on its maiden voyage, yet fate had other plans when it struck the iceberg that fateful night. As the ship began to sink, panicked passengers scrambled to find safety, resulting in a heartbreaking struggle for survival as not enough lifeboats were available. Decades later, explorers equipped with cutting-edge technology ventured into the deep Atlantic to uncover the secrets of the Titanic, revealing poignant artifacts that tell stories of those on board. The discoveries made during these expeditions not only shed light on the ship's tragic past, but also sparked renewed interest in the stories of its passengers, many of whom had dreams that were tragically cut short. As researchers continue to explore and document the wreck they face, not only the physical challenges of deep-sea exploration, but also the ethical considerations of preserving the memory of those who perished.
In the silence that fear tried to create, we found our strength. In the face of terror, we stood taller. Together, our spirit is unbreakable. We do not bow, we do not break. We rise as one nation. Jai Hind.
She blinked and lost a layer of trust.
In the silence that fear tried to create, we found our strength. In the face of terror, we stood taller. Together, our spirit is unbreakable. We do not bow, we do not break. We rise as one nation. Jai Hind.
You know her smile, you know her name, but you don't know her story. Under the bright lights of Hollywood, she lit up the world, a goddess in silk, a dream in motion. But even under 1,000 flashbulbs, loneliness cast the longest shadow. They called her Marilyn Monroe, but in the mirror she saw Norma Jean, a girl molded by studios, loved by millions, and understood by none. Beauty was her armor, charm was her survival, but somewhere between every laugh, a part of her broke, quietly, invisibly. When the scripts ended and the applause faded, she was left alone. A glass of water, a few scattered pills, and a silence deeper than fame could ever fill. She didn't vanish. She became something else. A shadow stitched into the silver screens of history. Still smiling, still haunting. A legend, trapped between the dream and the dark. Not every tragedy ends in tears. Some end in applause.
जूस, बड़ा गिलास 20 रुपए का। इधर इधर चली आइए, हमारी जूस वाली गाड़ी की पास।
In 2014, a young bride named Emily Carter disappeared just 48 hours before her wedding in Savannah, Georgia. There were no signs of struggle. Her phone, purse, and dress were still in her apartment, untouched. Her fiancé, Mark, told police she had cold feet and ran away. But her best friend insisted. Emily was excited to get married. Police found one strange clue, a note on her bathroom mirror written in lipstick. He's not who you think he is. Mark denied knowing anything. With no body, no proof, and no witnesses, the case went cold for 5 years. Until a new family moved into Mark's house, and while renovating the basement, they found a wooden box buried in the wall. Inside was a wedding dress and a human jawbone. DNA confirmed it was Emily. Mark was arrested the next day, but he never spoke a word in court. His only sentence was whispered to a reporter. She wasn't supposed to fight back.
कान्हा की लीला, मिट्टी में ब्रह्मांड। अरे वाह! क्या आप जानते हैं नन्हे कृष्ण ने एक बार क्या किया? एक ऐसा चमत्कार जिसने माँ यशोदा को भी हैरान कर दिया। एक दिन माँ यशोदा ने देखा कि लाला मिट्टी खा रहे हैं। कृष्ण, क्या तुमने मिट्टी खाई? माँ ने प्यार से पूछा। कान्हा बोले, नहीं माँ, लेकिन माँ को शक हुआ। उन्होंने लाला का मुंह खुलवाया और फिर अद्भुत, कृष्ण के मुख में तारे, आकाश, धरती, पूरा ब्रह्मांड दिखाई दिया। माँ यशोदा दंग रह गई। माँ समझ गई कि उनका लाडला कोई साधारण बालक नहीं, स्वयं भगवान है। यह देखकर माँ की भक्ति और प्रेम उमड़।
It was 6:30 in the evening. A school bus disappeared on the way home. 2 hours later, that same bus returned. But there was no driver, no children, just silence. Everyone gathered around it, but no one dared to go inside. Earlier that day, it was full of laughter. The kids were singing. The driver waved and smiled. But now, some say they saw shadows moving behind the window. And then, a whisper echoed from inside. We're still here. Since then, the bus returns every Thursday. But no one ever steps inside.
Please like and share if you like this video, or comment if you don't like it. मैं हूँ कृष्ण। जब जब धरती पर पाप बढ़ता है और धर्म कमजोर पड़ता है, तब तब मैं आता हूँ। यदा यदा ही धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत, अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। मैं हर युग में आया हूँ और आज भी हर उस दिल में हूँ जो सच्चा है, जो प्रेम करता है और जो कभी हारता है। मुझसे नफरत करने वाले हजारों मिले, पर प्रेम करने वाला एक भी काफी होता है। बस श्रद्धा रखो, मैं हमेशा तुम्हारे साथ हूँ।
अगर आपको यह वीडियो पसंद आए तो कृपया लाइक और शेयर करें। अगर पसंद नहीं आए तो कमेंट जरूर करें।
slow, dumb, even hopeless. But young Albert Einstein just thought differently. His teachers said he wouldn't succeed. He was expelled from school. But he kept questioning, kept dreaming. One day, he wrote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." The world didn't believe in him until he changed the world forever. Never doubt your worth. Even geniuses start as misfits. I was born a queen, but not to be worshipped, to be tested. When Aladdin came, he didn't ask for my kingdom. He asked for me, not my love, not my heart, my shadow, my body. But Chitor does not bend, and neither do I. Tonight I do not die in fear. I rise in fire, because some battles are not for land, they are for honor. Let history remember, Rani Padmavati did not surrender. Before Jhansi, there was Velu. She was born a queen and trained like a warrior, but when the British killed her husband and stole her kingdom, Velu vanished. For 8 years, she lived in silence, training, building weapons, raising an army. She didn't cry, she planned. Then came the fire. Velu struck the British fort. A woman from her army set fire to their weapons depot and gave her life. Velu took back her land, but history forgot her name. We won't. This wasn't just food. It was poetry, plated in gold. Noor Jahan, queen, strategist, artist, and the soul of the royal kitchen. Saffron, rose water, basmati. She stirred them like a painter touches canvas. She didn't feed hunger, she fed memory. They say kings ruled the empire, but she flavored it. That's how biryani became royalty.
Aishatia, he said, even if I must die with you, I will never deny you. That night, Jesus was taken. Twice, a third time, and then the rooster crowed. His eyes met Jesus. He turned away and wept. But Jesus forgave him. He still loved him. And that broken man became a rock.
I had no words, no strength, just 12 years of pain. No one could heal me. No one even looked at me. But in the crowd, I saw him. I didn't shout. I didn't ask. I just reached out and touched the edge of his robe. He stopped, turned, and said, "Daughter, your faith has healed you." That day, I was no longer invisible. That day, I was free. Hello and welcome. I'm AI Nisha, and you're watching Silent Truth Stories. Today, we unfold the timeline of a place that changed the world forever, the World Trade Center. This story is told in 3 parts: before, during, and after the tragedy.
In the heart of New York City, the World Trade Center towers dominated the skyline, symbolizing ambition and hope for countless individuals and businesses. It was a place where dreams met reality, a gathering spot for traders and tourists alike. Every day, thousands rushed through its doors, greeted by a vibrant atmosphere filled with energy and opportunity, marking it as a beacon of economic power. Underneath the towering skyscrapers, friendships were forged, alliances made, and futures shaped as the world came together within its walls. For visitors, the observation deck offered breathtaking views, a chance to gaze upon the city like never before, while locals found solace in the cafes, creating memories one cup of coffee at a time. Tourists from around the world flocked to capture the essence of New York, preserving moments against the backdrop of the iconic towers, which stood proudly even as the sun set. Amidst the busy streets, local vendors created a tapestry of culture, while messages of hope and unity emerged from the very foundations of this architecture. In the heart of New York City, the World Trade Center was more than just a pair of iconic skyscrapers. It was a symbol of dreams and possibilities. On a a day like any other, when the sun shone bright, everything changed in an instant, turning the vibrant city into a scene of chaos and despair. As the towers collapsed, the world watched in disbelief, the sound echoing like a thunderous heartbeat, marking the end of innocence. Families, friends, and strangers united in grief, standing shoulder to shoulder, sharing an unspoken bond forged in tragedy. Bravery was born that day, as first responders rushed into the inferno, risking their lives to save others, while the world held its breath. In the wake of unparalleled destruction, hope flickered like a candle in the dark. Communities came together vowing to rebuild and remember. Memorials sprang up across the nation, names spoken, a reminder of lives lost and love everlasting. The spirit of unity emerged, fueling a collective resolve to honor those who perished and to rebuild not just structures, but lives interconnected by shared grief. Survivors began to gather their voices, rising like a chorus, each testimony a thread woven into a larger narrative of resilience and recovery. In sharing their pain, they found strength in one another, turning individual tragedies into a collective journey towards healing. From their darkest moments, laughter began to emerge, demonstrating the power of connection and the human spirit's ability to heal. Through workshops and gatherings, community members transformed their heartache into artistic expressions, painting a brighter future from the palette of their experiences. In quiet moments of reflection, survivors penned their stories, transforming pain into prose, capturing the resilience that had blossomed from their struggles. As they gathered for charity events, the energy was palpable, each step taken a testament to their journey and a celebration of newfound hope. The city transformed, adorned with murals that told stories of courage and resilience, each brushstroke a reminder of the strength found in unity. As children played in the parks, the laughter blended with the whispers of hope, echoing a promise of brighter days ahead. In classrooms, stories of survival bridged the gap between generations as elders imparted lessons learned through hardship to eager young minds. Gathered in community halls, citizens strategized together, ensuring that the legacy of resilience and remembrance would be carried forward for years to come. Under the starlit sky, a candlelight vigil brought the community together, flickering flames representing cherished memories and shared hopes for healing. With each tree planted, volunteers sowed the seeds of renewal, nurturing not just the earth, but also the spirit of a united community. The festival radiated joy, transforming the pain of the past into a celebration of community spirit, where laughter mingled with music, uniting everyone in a shared purpose. Meanwhile, passionate teenagers brainstormed initiatives determined to break barriers surrounding mental health and create a supportive environment for their peers. Reunions brought tears of joy and heartfelt embraces as survivors celebrated the strength that grew from their shared experiences, transforming sorrow into gratitude. At conferences, speakers captivated audiences with their stories, revealing the profound impact of vulnerability and the indomitable spirit that emerged from their struggles. Elders took to the stage, performing traditional dances that resonated with rich cultural heritage, captivating the younger audience and bridging generations through movement. Nearby, children played games under the warm sun, their laughter echoing the spirit of hope and connection that continues to flourish within the community. The art exhibit showcased vibrant creations, talents intertwining as young and old artists collaborated, reflecting a rich dialogue between generations through their work. In the community garden, hands of all ages worked side by side, nurturing not only the plants, but also the bonds that grew stronger with each shared moment. The aroma of grilled delicacies filled the air as elders passed down cherished recipes, creating an atmosphere of camaraderie between generations around the barbecue. As night fell, storytelling ensued by the fire pit, where children were spellbound by tales woven from the wisdom and adventures of their elders' lives. At the vibrant farmers' market, interactions flourished as elders gifted heirloom seeds to young gardeners, instilling a sense of tradition and community that blossomed with every planting season. In a cozy living room, the book club buzzed with lively discussions as elders and teens connected through literature, opening doors to new perspectives and shared
The story of the World Trade Center is not just about what was lost, but also what was found: courage, solidarity, and remembrance. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to Silent Truth Stories for more thought and meaningful content. I'm AI Nisha. Thank you for watching.
Don't have no sense of direction. I'm so lost, all alone. Help me find a way. Sing out, sing out, sing out, sing out. Heathen, 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 heathen. Some families abandoned their homes, fleeing to distant hills. Corbett watched as the village spirit crumbled.
Every night I hold my baby close. I feel soft skin against mine. I look into her sweet blue eyes and tell her, darling, you are fine. And then I say, my I used to float, now I just fall down. I used to know, but I'm not sure now what I was made for. What was I made for?
Welcome to Silent Truth Stories, where forgotten legends return through the power of storytelling. Today, we bring you the chilling tale of a man-eating tigress who silenced an entire village until one man dared to face her. This is the curse of Panner. The chill of the night wrapped round him as he listened intently. Every rustle of leaves felt like the heartbeat of the jungle. The villagers cloistered in their homes shared whispered tales of the terror that had gripped their lives. Jim knew that he was their last hope, yet doubt lingered like a shadow. He could feel the weight of many frightened eyes watching him from afar, waiting for a sign of hope. In 1929, the village of Pannar fell silent. 27 people were killed, not at night, but in broad daylight. Children vanished. A priest was mauled inside the temple. No one left their homes. When Jim Corbett arrived, the villagers stayed hidden. Their eyes told the story. They were trapped by fear. In the forest, he found claw marks high on trees and pug marks circling the village like a warning. That night, under a lone peepal tree, he waited. The jungle made no sound. She didn't roar or appear, but he felt her presence, watching, waiting. This hunt had just begun. 3 days later, the silence broke. A boy went to fetch water. Minutes later, screams filled the air. His body was found near the forest, torn apart. The tigress had struck again, bold, fast, and in daylight. Panic spread like fire. Families packed to flee. Corbett examined the ground. No chase, no mess. Just one clean, brutal kill. This was not for hunger, it was control. That night, Corbett sat awake with his rifle staring into the dark tree line. The tigress wasn't hiding, she was watching, and she had no plans to stop. The night stretched endlessly, filled with the sound of rustling leaves and the occasional distant animal call. Each noise heightened Corbett's senses, reminding him that the tigress was out there stalking. He replayed the boy's last moments in his mind, haunted by the screams that pierced the stillness. How had it come to this? He knew the creature was not merely hunting for food. She was asserting dominance in her territory. A single gunshot might not be enough to quell her reign of terror. As dawn approached, Corbett gathered his gear, determined to face the tigress and bring an end to her chaos. Corbett set his first trap near the river. Fresh kill as bait rifle ready, silence all around. Hours passed. Then came the sound. One soft step, then another. But it wasn't the tigress. It was a jackal. The jungle was playing tricks. At dawn, Corbett found the bait untouched, the ground clean. She had watched from a distance and walked away. That evening, a new kill was reported on the far side of the village. She had outsmarted him. Again. Corbett realized this was no ordinary hunt. The tigress wasn't avoiding danger, she was studying it. And every failed trap made her more dangerous. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the jungle floor as Corbett paced restlessly beside his makeshift campfire, the flickering flames illuminating his troubled face. A haunting image of the tigress, stalking gracefully through the underbrush, her powerful muscles coiled and eyes glinting in the dim light, exuding an air of cunning intelligence. He examined claw marks. At dusk, Corbett followed fresh pug marks into a ravine. The air was heavy, every sound sharp. Suddenly he froze. Just 30 feet ahead in the fading light, two glowing eyes stared back. The tigress stood still, not crouching, not afraid. They watched each other in silence. His finger rested on the trigger, but she didn't charge. She turned and vanished into the trees. It wasn't time. Not for her. Not yet. Corbett knew this was no victory. It was a warning. She had shown herself and chosen to let him live. The final battle was coming, but it would be on her terms. Corbett took a deep breath, feeling the tension of the moment wrap around him like a shroud. He knew the forest was a silent witness to their encounter, holding its breath in anticipation. Every rustle of leaves seemed amplified, echoing the weight of fate that hung in the air. He began to walk back, feeling the presence of the tigress linger in his mind, each step heavy with the knowledge that this was just the beginning. It was a dangerous game they played, one where respect and fear intertwined. As darkness settled around him, Corbett's heart raced, aware that soon the hunter would become the hunted. The forest was quiet, but not like before. This silence held peace, not fear. Villagers returned to the fields, children laughed again, but Corbett didn't celebrate. He stood over the tigress's resting place, eyes heavy. She had killed many, too many, yet he couldn't hate her. She had been shaped by wounds not born to kill. Her rage came from pain and survival. In his journal, Corbett wrote just one line. She was not evil. She was a warning. Then he walked alone into the jungle, not as a hunter, but as a man who had seen too much. And the hills of Panar at last exhaled. With each step deeper into the jungle, Corbett felt the weight of his thoughts. Memories of the tigress flashed before him, a flicker of her fierce spirit intertwined with the pain she endured. The echoes of the past whispered around him, reminding him of the delicate balance between life and death in this wild expanse. As he walked, he pondered the lessons learned from every encounter, understanding that nature's fury was often a reflection of its vulnerability. Finally, he paused, taking a deep breath, feeling the pulse of the jungle around him, a reminder that he was not just a man in search of redemption, but a steward of the land. Narrow cave tucked into the hillside, littered with bones. Corbett's pulse quickened. As dusk fell, the jungle came alive with sounds. Distant roars and rustling leaves that heightened Corbett's senses. He knew that he had to taste every ounce of his skill and courage. With each heartbeat echoing in his ears, he took a deep breath, prepared to enter his lair. The moment had arrived. The predator arrived. Once inside, the air was thick with tension, each sound amplified in the silence. Suddenly, a low growl reverberated through the cave, sending chills down Corbett's spine. He raised his rifle heart racing, knowing the cat was close. This was no ordinary villagers' scream echoed from the eastern ridge. Corbett rushed uphill, rifle steady, heart racing. In the clearing, he saw her, standing over a fallen man, her eyes locked on him. No time to think. One shot rang out. The tigress stumbled, growled, then charged. Corbett fired again. She dropped just feet away, her breath heavy, not like fading. The jungle held its breath. Not after weeks of fear, villagers returned to the fields. But victory, children like triumph. As he looked into her lifeless eyes, he stood over the tigress's resting place, eyes heavy. A hunter's duty, many, and a life taken. Corbett felt the weight of the moment pressing down on him, the jungle around him awakening to the morning. Her rage came from pain, rustle of leaves carried memories of fear in his journal, reminding him of the villagers who had lived and she was not evil. He knew this was no celebration. Then it was a somber acknowledgement of the balance disrupted as a man who had seen as he rose to his feet and the hills, the sound of distant drums began to echo. As he ventured deeper into the jungle, the memories front what had lingered in his mind. Corbett's heart was heavy with the knowledge that in saving lives, birds had taken one forever, intertwining their fates in this untamed world. Each step reminded him of the delicate balance between man and beast and the struggles of survival. This journey was not just about hunting anymore. It was about understanding. Corbett paused, sensing the pulse of the wilderness, recognizing its beauty and brutality intertwined. He knew the stories of every creature hidden among the ferns, their lives woven into the fabric of the land. With each breath, he acknowledged the fragility of life, both human and animal, and in that moment, he found a quiet resolve to protect this world, not destroy it. The moment had arrived. The predator awaited. Once inside, the air was thick with tension, each sound amplified in the silence. Suddenly, a low growl reverberated through the cave, sending chills down Corbett's spine. He raised his rifle, heart racing, knowing the cat was close. This was no ordinary hunt. It was a battle of wits between
Welcome
man
to
and
Silent
beast.
Truth Stories.
Corbett set out
Tonight,
the
we
dawn,
take you deep
determined
into the
to
heart of
trace the
India,
leopard's hidden
to a
trails.
village where fear whispered through the trees and legends were written in claw marks. This is not just a tale of a wild beast. It's the story of a silent predator, bound to a temple bell, choosing its victims by ritual, not hunger. This is the Phantom of Bharavgarh, a true story told in 10 haunting chapters. Let the hunt begin.
Bharavgarh was quiet until the day young Raju disappeared. He had gone to light lamps near the temple, but never returned. His sandals were found by the steps and the lantern still burned. No blood, no signs of a struggle. Just 4 deep claw marks on the temple wall, too high for any normal leopard. That night the temple bell rang on its own. The villagers said nothing, but deep inside everyone knew something evil had awakened in the jungle. The villagers gathered in hushed tones, exchanging worried glances as the legends of the jungle began to surface once more. Whispers of an ancient spirit that demanded a sacrifice reverberated through the air, and the fear grew palpable. Raju's family, grief-stricken but determined, sought the truth behind their son's disappearance, delving into the village's forgotten tales. As the sun rose, casting a faint light over Bharavgarh, a young girl named Meera made a bold decision. She would venture into the dense jungle, guided by the stories she had heard, hoping to uncover the truth about Raju's fate. With her father's blessings and a heart full of courage, she stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead. This was the leopard's lair. 3 days after Raju vanished, strange claw marks began appearing on the doors of village homes. Not scratches, deep, deliberate gashes like warnings carved into the wood. No one saw who or what made them. Every night, one more house was marked. The village priest said it was a spirit cursed to hunt near the temple. People started leaving offerings outside, hoping it would spare them. But one morning, a family was gone. Their door hung open, food still on the fire, and a single lantern burned low, just like before. Fear had now turned into silence. Whispers spread through the village as the remaining residents gathered at the temple, their faces etched with dread. All eyes turned to the priest who spoke of ancient legends that warned of vengeful spirits. As each night passed, the claw marks grew bolder, and the atmosphere thickened with a palpable tension. The villagers felt trapped in a nightmare haunted by the presence of the unseen entity. With fear tightening its grip, they decided to band together to confront whatever was lurking in the shadows. Word of the disappearances reached Nainital, and soon Jim Corbett was on his way to Pyravgar. When he arrived, the village looked abandoned. Doors shut, windows sealed, not a child in sight. Only the priest greeted him with folded hands and fear in his eyes. He whispered, "This is not an animal, Sahib. This is something else." Corbett examined the claw marks. They were precise, too high for any normal leopard. That night, he walked to the temple alone. The air was heavy, the trees too still. As he reached the steps, the bell above him rang once. No wind, no rope, just a warning. As Corbett stood frozen at the temple steps, the chilling silence was punctuated by the eerie sound of the bell. He felt an unsettling presence around him, as if the very shadows were alive. The villagers had spoken of a creature more sinister than any beast, and the air thickened with unease. Determined to uncover the truth, he took a cautious step forward, the weight of the night pressing down on him. Each creak of the old wood beneath his feet seemed to echo his heart's pounding. The eyes in the darkness watched, waiting for him to make a move. The next morning, Corbett followed an old forest trail behind the temple. Locals said no one walked that path after dark. A mile in, he found it. A forgotten stone shrine half buried under vines. At its base, scattered bones, old and brittle, some human, some not. On the moss-covered wall, a symbol carved deep, a leopard's eye surrounded by flames. The air felt cold, though the sun was high. As Corbett turned to leave, he saw something move in the trees, too fast to follow. But one thing was clear. Whatever haunted Pyravgar wasn't just wild, it was worshipped. As he stood there, a chill ran down Corbett's spine, an instinct urging him to leave. Yet the shrine's haunting beauty and the allure of the unknown kept him rooted in place. Memories of local tales about sacrifices and the ancient deity worshipped here flooded his mind. With each passing moment, the jungle seemed to come alive, sounds echoing as if the very trees were whispering secrets. Just then, a low growl resonated from the shadows, snapping him back to reality. He knew he needed to escape, but something deep within compelled him to stay a little longer. And tonight, the final confrontation would begin. That night, Corbett kept watch near the temple steps. No villagers dared join him. Hours passed. The jungle was silent. Too silent. Then just before midnight he felt it. Not a sound, a presence. Slowly he turned toward the tree line. Two glowing eyes stared back from the dark, steady, unblinking. A shadow shifted behind them, but no growl, no movement, just eyes watching. Then, as suddenly as they appeared, they vanished. Corbett didn't sleep that night. He didn't fire his rifle either. Something told him that wasn't the moment. But the game had begun. As dawn broke, the first rays of sunlight illuminated the ancient temple ruins, but Corbett remained on high alert, shaken from the eerie encounter. With each passing moment, he gripped his rifle tighter, eyes scanning the jungle for any hint of movement or sound. The memory of those glowing eyes etched firmly in his mind. At dawn, Corbett set his first trap. A live goat, tied near the shrine, baited to draw the predator out. He waited behind a rock ledge rifle, steady hours slipping by. The goat cried once, then silence. As night fell, he checked the trap. The goat was untouched, but the rope had been clawed through. Not chewed, not broken. Clean, silent, precise. A few feet away in the mud, only one set of prints. And they stopped mid-stride. No trail leading in, none leading out. Corbett stared into the dark. He wasn't hunting it. It was studying him. Corbett's expression shifted from determination to unease as he scanned the dark trees surrounding him, his breath visible in the cold night air. The forest felt alive, each rustle of leaves heightening his senses. He began to question the nature of his prey. Was it hunting confronting him, or merely observing the weight of the silence pressed upon him, and he could feel the tension in the air. The next morning, an old hermit appeared at the edge of the village. No one had seen him in years. He asked for Corbett by name. Sitting beneath a neem tree, he spoke in a trembling voice. "This is not a leopard. It's cursed, bound to the temple. It hunts only when the bell rings." Corbett listened in silence. The hermit handed him a rusted amulet with the same eye symbol he saw at the jungle shrine. "You won't kill it with bullets," the old man whispered. "You'll need timing and truth." Then just as quietly he left. No one saw where he went. Corbett stood there, the weight of the old man's words heavy on his mind. He stared at the amulet, realizing that this hunt was unlike any he had faced before. As dusk settled in, he felt a pull toward the ancient temple, where the legend of the creature lingered like a whisper. The eerie silence of the jungle surrounded him, challenging him to uncover the truth behind the curse and the beast that haunted the villagers. Corbett prepared his final trap. He placed himself inside the temple just before dusk, the amulet from the hermit tied around his wrist. The village bell, untouched for days, was set to ring at sundown. As the sky turned red, the bell tolled. Once, twice, then silence. Moments later, the temple doors creaked. A low growl echoed inside. Shadows shifted along the walls. Corbett didn't move. He held his breath. Then, a flicker of eyes in the dark, closer than ever. The beast had come, and this time, it didn't plan to wait. With heart pounding and instincts sharp, Corbett steadied himself, ready to face whatever emerged from the darkness. His mind raced as fear danced within him, but his resolve held firm. The legends spoke of a creature that haunted these ruins, relentless and cunning, and Corbett was the only one brave enough to challenge it. As the growl grew louder, echoing off the ancient stone, he whispered a silent prayer for strength. The eyes appeared just feet away, glowing, unblinking. Corbett aimed slowly, but the air felt thick, frozen. The creature stepped into the light. It wasn't just a leopard. Its fur was dark, almost burned. Body scarred. It looked ancient and angry. With a sudden roar, it lunged. Corbett fired. Once, twice. The shots echoed through the stone walls. The bell rang a third time, though no one touched it. When the dust cleared, the beast lay still on the temple floor. But as Corbett approached, its eyes opened once more. Not in rage, but in peace. Corbett stood frozen in disbelief, gun still raised as he witnessed the beast's transformation, its demeanor shifting from fierce to tranquil. A soft glow surrounded the creature, casting an ethereal light throughout the temple. The once menacing presence now felt like an ancient guardian revealing its true nature. Confusion mingled with a strange sense of calm as Corbett lowered his weapon, realizing the significance of this moment. The village awoke to a strange calm. No more claw marks, no more fear. Corbett watched as the villagers stepped out slowly, returning to life. At the temple, he stood over the creature's body. It wasn't a predator. It was pain bound by something older than any rifle. He remembered the hermit's words. "You'll need timing and truth." Corbett buried the beast near the shrine beneath the trees where it once ruled. Before leaving, he wrote one final line in his journal. As he sat in the stillness of the forest, Corbett poured his thoughts onto the page, capturing the essence of the beast he had come to understand. The weight of the encounter lingered heavily in his mind, the lessons learned etched into his memory. With each word, he acknowledged not just the creature's fate, but also the shared struggles of all who lived in its shadow. The final line read, "Not just a beast, reflection of our own fears and battles."
If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Silent Truth Stories. We bring you real legends, untold truths, and emotional journeys from around the world every week. Until next time, stay aware and listen to the silence.
Welcome to Silent Truth Stories. I'm Nisha, your narrator for today's gripping mysteries. Join me as we dive into the world of Sherlock Holmes, where every minute reveals a silent truth and every clue demands attention. Let the game begin.
train without a schedule and passengers who never arrive. Curious. The line between myth and mischief grows thinner by the minute. As Sherlock observed the peculiar scene, he felt the weight of mystery pressing upon him, urging him to uncover the secrets held within that ghostly train. With each puff of smoke, he envisioned stories woven into the fabric of this train, each passenger a fragment of a tale waiting to be told. Determined to unveil the truth, Sherlock scrutinized the ticket, realizing it held the key to unraveling the enigma of the final train to nowhere. With a deep breath, he stepped onto the train, ready to confront the mysteries that awaited him in the dimly lit carriage. As he moved cautiously through the carriage, an unsettling feeling washed over him, for each pair of eyes seemed to hold secrets untold. Gazing through the misty window, he pondered whether this was truly a journey through space, or merely a descent into the depths of his own psyche. The diary revealed a chilling account of past passengers who vanished without a trace, urging Sherlock to piece together their fates before it was too late. In the heart of London, a peculiar painting hangs in the shadows of Baker Street, whispering secrets that stir the mind of Sherlock Holmes. Art may imitate life, but when it whispers back, it becomes a suspect. I always say, examine the brushstroke as keenly as the alibi. As he studies the intricate details, the air thickens with tension, and Holmes senses that something is amiss. A shadow moves just beyond the glass, hinting at a presence that may be connected to the whispers of the artwork. Papers flutter around the dimly lit room, each scribble a piece of an intricate puzzle, leading Holmes down a rabbit hole of history and intrigue. Suddenly, the painted figure appears to flicker, hinting at a message hidden in the brushstrokes waiting for discovery. With each note he jots down, Holmes draws closer to the truth, the air crackling with anticipation as the painting looms behind him like a silent accomplice. His keen eye catches something unusual, a brushstroke that bears the unmistakable mark of a fingerprint intertwining the worlds of art and crime. Some rooms harbor more than secrets. I've solved murders in less haunted chambers than that cursed suite. The air is thick with tension as Sherlock leans closer, aware that every detail could lead him to uncover the dark truth concealed within these four walls. The words etched on the pages reveal a chilling past, drawing Sherlock deeper into the haunted history of this room, where every clue may unveil a hidden horror. As thunder rumbles in the distance, Sherlock reflects that the storm outside parallels the brewing storm within, where truth and deception clash violently. In the flickering candlelight, an unseen presence emerges, prompting Sherlock to confront the shadows lurking in both the room and the heart of the mystery. With each frantic word, the figure unveils a tale of regret and sorrow, compelling Sherlock to connect the dots that lead to the haunting events of Room 606. The photograph reveals a connection to the past, igniting Sherlock's resolve to uncover the tragic fate that intertwines the lives captured in the image with Room 606. When a bell tolls for the first time in a century, it rings not for the ears, but for justice long denied. In his study, Sherlock Holmes reviews a cryptic letter, the clues intertwining with his thoughts like dark tendrils of memory, while the distant sound of the tower's silence echoes in his mind. Venturing into the moonlit alley, Sherlock Holmes uncovers hidden symbols that pulse with secrets of a past, intertwined with the justice he yearns to restore. Unbeknownst to Holmes, a dark figure watches from the shadows, fueling the tension in the air, while our detective steels himself for the confrontation that could lead to long-awaited justice. In a moment charged with intensity, Sherlock faces the enigmatic figure, both locked in a duel of intellect, where every word could tip the scales of justice that have long been balanced precariously. With revelation lighting the way, Sherlock unveils a hidden truth that shatters the facade, turning the tables in an encounter where justice inches ever closer to realization. A ghost with fingerprints, a shadow with motive elementary, if the dead still have a reason to kill. As Sherlock stands on a foggy London street, he contemplates the case before him, while Dr. Watson expresses concern over the sensational news in the newspaper regarding a recent mysterious murder. In the comfort of study, Sherlock meticulously examines the clues, while an unsettling photograph reveals a blurred figure lurking ominously in the shadows. As Sherlock and Watson traverse the Foglarden cemetery, they are drawn towards a tombstone where a ghostly apparition flickers, hinting at deeper secrets buried within. Kneeling beside the freshly dug grave, Sherlock inspects the disturbed soil, a determined glint in his eyes as he begins to unravel the haunting mystery that lies beneath. Inside the dim ambience of a rustic tavern, Sherlock interrogates a shady character whose shifty eyes and telling tattoo suggest a deeper involvement in the ghostly enigma. In the flickering candlelight of a hidden chamber, Sherlock discovers a tome filled with cryptic illustrations, revealing a ghostly figure that suggests its lingering quest for
So far, the mystery deepens. Stay with us as Sherlock Holmes unravels 5 more chilling tales you won't want to miss. Let the deductions continue.
In a haunting asylum where echoes of the past linger, Sherlock Holmes stands resolute, pondering the enigma of madness. He believes that to uncover the truth, one must trace not only the visible clues, but also the whispers hidden within the troubled minds. As he walks through the interminable hallways, the faint echoes of the insane weave a chilling narrative. Each unlocked door reveals fragments of tormented souls, their stories etched in frantic handwriting, beckoning for understanding. Holmes pauses before a memory frozen in time, a photograph that whispers of love and loss trapped within these walls. Nearby, an ominous presence stirs, watching the detective as he unravels the tangled web of sanity and despair. With each step, Holmes lights the darkness, unveiling the cryptic patterns left by those who teetered on the edge of insanity. In the shadows, a tormented soul clings to sanity, the echo of their thoughts resonating within the confines of the asylum. In a moment of solitude, Holmes contemplates the weight of the stories around him, the smoke from his pipe swirling like the mysteries he seeks to unravel. Outside, an anxious doctor watches, intrigued by the detective's profound connection to the minds trapped within their own despair. In the heart of Victorian London, Sherlock Holmes finds himself puzzled by an extraordinary claim, a diary that has the uncanny ability to predict the present. With skepticism etched on his face, he reflects on the nature of truth, revealing that while he champions logic and evidence, he is well aware of the unpredictable power held by those driven to desperation, armed only with a pen. As the evening unfolds, shadows dance around him, and a desperate figure emerges from obscurity, driven by the secrets penned in that very diary. Meanwhile, Sherlock Holmes and his steadfast companion, Dr. John Watson, analyze the situation, realizing that the past holds keys to the present that could unearth dangers lurking in unexpected corners. The mysterious writer pauses, sensing unseen eyes upon them, while shadows stretch and contract around every corner of London. Back at 221B Baker Street, Sherlock, the meticulous investigator, inspects the remnants of the past, aware that the unfolding mystery is more than mere chance. It intertwines lives and destinies, challenging his rational mind. Sherlock Holmes stands in his cluttered study, surrounded by the relics of time, reflecting on the complexities of existence. He states firmly, to speak to one's future self is one thing, to obey it blindly quite another. Time is not a toy, my friend. Dr. John Watson leans forward, intrigued yet cautious, questioning the wisdom behind their discovery. The device lies between them, its enigmatic features suggesting a journey beyond the boundaries of time itself. Sherlock paces the dimly lit room, pondering the implications of their findings as the howling wind outside mirrors his turbulent thoughts. He understands their situation and the risks that come with meddling in the fabric of time. Dr. Watson grips the device, feeling the weight of their decision pressing upon him. He battles internally between fear and the allure of what lay ahead, reflecting on the adventure that could change everything. Sherlock's voice rises with resolve, urging Watson to seize the moment and confront the unknown. Outside, an ominous presence watches the tension mounting as their fateful decision looms closer. Cold War colder secrets. When men seal off truth, they often bury their own judgment with it. As Sherlock delved deeper into the Cold War, he realized every decision held consequences that could unearth not just secrets, but also the very essence of morality. Pieces of correspondence passed between shadowy figures revealed the tangled web of alliances and betrayals that defined a world on the brink. Holmes pieced together the clues, knowing that in the shadows, every figure held a story, and every story held the potential to ignite a conspiracy. Each fragment of evidence brought him closer to understanding the motives at play. alliances formed and unraveled under the weight of ambition and fear. In the pub's light, Holmes pressed his informant for answers, the air thick with tension, as the weight of unsaid truths hung heavy between them. With every passing tick, the urgency grew. Holmes knew that deciphering the codes could lead to revelations that would change the course of history. Gathering allies became paramount, as Holmes recognized that navigating the murky waters of deception required more than just intellect. It demanded collaboration and trust. I have pursued cases on static and silence before, but never on songs that rewrite history. With every note we uncover, the past seems to twist and reshape, revealing secrets long buried beneath the surface. As the music flows through the air, we realize it holds the power to alter perceptions of events, recreating moments lost to time. In that moment, we grasp the weight of our discovery, a melody that could rewrite not just history, but also the very fabric of our lives. As the song plays on, we sense an ancient force awakening, compelling those long gone to reappear, intertwining their fates with ours. We must solve this mystery before the past overwhelms us, for the echoes of history are now alive in ways we never anticipated. Each note brings us closer to understanding, yet also deeper in danger as we tread the thin line between discovery and disaster. What if this song is not just a melody, but a key that unlocks a forgotten truth, lost to time and waiting to be revealed? We stand on the brink of revelation, aware that every note we play could alter the course of what was once thought to be set in
Thank you
stone.
for watching Sherlock Holmes mini-stories. If these mysteries thrilled your mind, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Silent Truth Stories. Until next time, stay curious and never ignore the clues.
पाकिस्तान के लोग परेशान हैं, मैं जानता हूं। उनकी परेशानी का कारण भी मैं हूं, ये भी मैं जानता हूं।
मैं पूरी तरह से प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का समर्थन करता हूं। उनके नेतृत्व में देश ने विकास की नई ऊंचाइयां छू ली हैं। हम उनके साथ हैं और हम मिलकर भारत को और आगे ले जाएंगे।
आज संसद में एक बहुत जरूरी फैसला लिया है। पाकिस्तान को दूध की बोतल भेजनी चाहिए, क्योंकि असली परेशानी ये है कि उन्हें खिलाने वाला के साथ
उन्होंने जो काम किया है वो हर भारतीय के लिए गर्व की बात है।
हम सब मोदी जी का समर्थन करते हैं। उनके विचार और उनके निर्णय देश को आगे बढ़ाते हैं।
गुमशुदा दिल जिगर पागल पागल है थोड़े बादल बादल है दोनों खुल के तेरे हो गए या खुदा इश्क में गुमशुदा दिल जिगर पागल पागल है थोड़े बादल बादल है दोनों खुल के
These distant forms of wildlife echo the unresolved tales of creatures who roamed this land, felt the weight of countless lives intertwined the world. Each pioneer brought a story as old as time. While the villagers celebrated a newfound freedom, Holden understood his future was bittersweet. The balance of nature had been disturbed, and the jungle had its own rules not easy to uphold. As the sun rose higher,